The Fairest Girl in Canada. That's the title of an upcoming book on the history of the Miss Canada pageant, which began in 1945, and related events. So 100-year history of beauty pageants in Canada. Author Jimmy Steele contacted the Cornwall Community Museum last year, and he asked for some help with his research. And he also wanted to connect with her. He was hoping for an interview, which we ended up shooting at the Cornwall Community Museum.
My name's Jimmy Steele. I'm from Toronto, and I used to work in the fashion and the beauty pageant industry for a long time. And I said, well, maybe it's time to do something about the original Miss Canada pageant. It's an event that's been closed down for about 30 years. It has a very rich history that's really linked to Canadiana, Canadian history, national identity even. And so I've set out to put together this book, interviewing folks who were involved with the Miss Canada pageant, past winners of course, but also family members of past winners. And I've completed over 25 interviews to date. I've interviewed 10 Miss Canada winners so far. It's a very engaging, dynamic project. I'm really excited.
I was married in that dress.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. Did I get into that? Look at
And there's Miss Canada, Barbara Joan Markham, Cornwall.
Cornwall.
5'9"
Ontario,
and a half.
Canada.
That's right. Brown hair, blue eyes, fair complexion. Barbara was born in Toronto on December 29th. She attended McGill University for 1 year and Ontario College of Fine Art for 3 years. She has had special training in oral expression and speech and will exhibit oil paintings explaining mood and character of each as her talent presentation.
That's the reason I went into the Miss Canada contest in the first place. I wanted publicity for my art. This is when I was in the Miss America contest after the Miss Canada contest. And I was showing my paintings. I think I was about the only one in either contest who ever had art paintings to show. Most of them were other kinds of talent, but we had to have some kind of a talent. And I was making a speech to about 50,000 people at the time.
And you'd never done a beauty pageant before?
Oh, no.
No. First time. And you won.
Yeah. Oh, boy, they had a beautiful parade, and they all went to the fairgrounds, and oh.
And I heard there were 20,000 people at that parade.
20?
In a town
really?
of 45,000 people or so. That's amazing.
Well, it must have been quite a surprise that somebody from Cornwall won the contest.
Still the only one. We had two winners from Ottawa, but the only one from Eastern Ontario who's ever won Miss Canada is you.
Yeah.
This must be a lot of memories for you, bringing up the reminiscences of everything. How does it make you feel to talk about Miss Canada and your time during that special year?
Well, it was a great boost to it made my life a lot more successful from then on. You know, I always, you know, it carried me with me everywhere I went. You know, people would say, "Oh, Miss Canada."
It's still in Cornwall.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, and I come back to my hometown at the best place in the world to be.
Maybe tell us some of the things that resonate with you that your mom shared with you about her one-year reign as our Miss Canada back in 1954.
Yes, she was able to travel and meet so many people, important people. She was always glamorous. She was always well presented. She was just a beautiful mom. Little did I know anything about her, that she won a Miss Canada when I was a young girl. And,
oh, I see. It wasn't a topic of conversation at all. Wow.
No. And
so she was humble.
Oh, she was humble. Yeah. She was humble, and when we found out later on, it's just an amazing piece of information.
In our second segment today, we'll take a look at two interesting and important projects, namely the historic Cornwall Newspaper Digitization project, led by Eric Duncan, as well as an effort at the Cornwall Community Museum to preserve the historic standard freeholder negatives.
We are one fire away in a few different spots potentially of wiping out generations of history of our councils, of our sports, of our service clubs, of our churches would be lost very quickly on that. So we approached County Council about asking them for their support to issue an RFP or an RFQ to go to companies who will be able to digitize the newspaper collections, and not only digitize them to put them online, but make them what they call OCR searchable, where that means that if I go in and type in Bernadette Clément, every story in that collection with her name on it and every page, good or bad or indifferent, could come up in a matter of mere seconds. County Council did fund over the course of their 2019 budget last year and their 2020 budget upwards of $200,000, which is going to do every newspaper in SDNG. So we're here tonight to basically ask for City Council to partner with our group here in the city on a similar project, particularly with the Cornwall Standard Freeholder and the Seaway News. We also have La Journal, which we're working on right now. We believe it is stored in Hawkesbury. That's an important part for our Francophone community. This is a little bit different than the community grants portfolio. It's a little bit bigger than, the ask is a little bit bigger than I think the $25,000 limit. But at the end of this, I believe our volunteer group will want to turn this over to ownership of the City of Cornwall, whether that's through the library, whether that's through administration or the best channel for you. But that resource and that online database where it would be searchable would be maintained by the city. It would be limited maintenance once it's up there, but again, I think would become an asset of the City of Cornwall at the end of the day. People wouldn't necessarily need to go to the library or to City Hall. It would all be cloud-based, internet-based, and searchable from that format, open to not only anybody in the city, but people doing genealogy, other research along that line, online to the public.
I think it's absolutely essential. It's often remarked of Cornwall that we've let a lot of our infrastructure go. You know, a building burns down and there's a gaping hole where it was, or sometimes just let go to ruin without maintenance. And I think that that's so much truer of our cultural infrastructure. If we don't do this, we're foregoing our past.
Thank you for the support. Look forward to working with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.